Hey there, Wayne D here, and if you look in the background you'll see blowing snow, and if you hear noise in the background, that's the heaters. I got the door closed now, but heaters are still running because it's about 25 degrees and it snowed last night. So what I thought I would do, since I haven't done it in a while, is show you what I'm working on in my swing. And yeah, this actually is encouraging because it looks a lot better. I haven't played very well over the last 2.5 years. Physically, I haven't been very good with my hips and back, but I'm starting to add some stuff into my workouts, and I'm starting to feel a little better. Plus, I'm really concentrating on doing the things that I'm talking about over and over again when I look at the tour players and I do my swing analysis. So let me put the lines in. One thing you'll notice right away that's different here is I'm going back to an open stance. I played with an open stance when I won the National Club Pro in 2001. I started doing that a couple of years before that because of my back. I was having a super hard time not over twisting in the backswing and then never getting open enough in the forward swing, which if you watch some of the videos that I do, you'll know that I'm a big fan of being open at impact with the body facing the target and the hands trailing, hands and arms trailing. But in order for me to do that and not get stuck out on the front of my left foot, I found that the open stance was a big help. It's slightly restrictive in the backswing, but that's kind of what I need. So it's just something that obviously some good players use. Fred Couples plays from an open stance a lot of times. Of course, Trevino is the model for the wide open stance. If you watch Bubba Watson, he'll open up. And most players play short shots from an open stance. It doesn't affect the aim or the plane lines. I'm playing from a square plane. I just have my body pre-twisted to the left. Now when I do this, it's interesting. I'll start off and I'll move my feet. When I move my feet to open from square, I'll move my right foot forward and then back my left foot up evenly. This is something I discovered would keep my balance point the same. If you just drop your left foot back, you'll get further away from the ball and it won't be the same. So anyway, let's draw the lines, and we can be critical of my action here. So same things that I always do. Hips, sides of the head, top of the head, and then straight up 90 degrees from the ball. So that's a 5-iron. I'm choking down. The wind's blowing about 30 sideways here. So I usually do choke down a little bit if I'm hitting balls into a big wind, because it's what I would do on the course to flight the ball a little bit better. Of course, I moved a little bit before I took it back, so I'm going to add a little lower plane line there. So let's take a look. Now the forward side of my swing, when you look at it from the front, I'm usually pretty good. One of the things that I'm working on is when I start back, I'm trying to feel pressure build up downward in both feet. Now what this helps me do is it helps me to stay on top of the ball a little bit. You can see here I don't have a lot of flexibility because of the fusion, so if I see an inch of movement back, I'm not gonna worry about that too much. But I gotta watch that I don't go further right than that. But here I've got a pretty good brace in my right foot. It tends to drift to the middle a little bit. But the big thing here is what I'm really focusing on is lowering by creating pressure against the ground. And if I can get my butt behind this line, right here, I'll be happy. But I really have to try to do that. So when I work out, I'll do a lot of squat type stuff, and one of the things I do is I have a pulley or a cord that stretches and it ties to my waist, and it'll pull me backwards as I try to do this a bit. Now that to me feels like a lot of lowering, but compared to like a Tiger or some of these guys, that's very little. But for me, it's big because you can see my right cheek is actually deeper than it started. So that's of major importance to me. The other thing that's big is that I've got my knee movement symmetrical. See, that's what the open stance does, because when I start, my left knee is pulled back, and by the time it moves, it's now even. So I'm more balanced here than I would be in a normal square stance. Now, I'm not advocating this is particular to me. I just thought I would give you an idea of, sometimes you're going to come up with things specifically for yourself. And I've looked at this so many times that I can compare and find that this is helpful to me. So again, if we look at the progression that I've just had, I started off here at 51, 58, and then 63. So that's 7 and 5. That's pretty good for me. I'm a little bit, I'm not quite limber enough to get these lines compressed in a little bit closer. Like Hogan was more like a 4 and 3 or a 4 and 4. But 7 and 5 is not bad, because my arms are still against me pretty much. My right arm is in front of me and down a little bit. Now, in the forward swing, what I'm really looking to do is to get my left knee to disappear when my left arm is parallel to the ground, and I'm only one click away, and I'm really close there. So that means that the rotation is kicking in more there. Hands are coming in just a fraction high, but pretty good. Shaft is under control above the forearm, so it's definitely not stuck. And one of the hallmarks of my swing when I'm in trouble is that I pull my head back a large amount. This isn't too bad, and my butt's still against the line. So if you watch, normally my right knee would be way more forward than this. I'd like to keep it inside the box if I could. This is pretty good though. And my hips end up, for one of the, this is really good for me to end up in the box pretty good like that. That means physically I'm starting to get better than I have been. So that's a good omen. I should be able to hit the ball better than I have. So here's the second down goes to here, and then as you can see, and this is good, I'm getting some pretty good thrust up into the ball. You can see my head elevate as the club comes down. Now from the front, I'm going to try to grind into the ground. This is directly coming from the right instep and the right leg. Trying not to thrust with my knee. I'm trying to slide my hips and get to my left point over here. Maybe a little sooner. I keep moving forward a little bit in here, but that's a pretty good amount there. I like that. The head's still nicely in the box. So it recovered its back position, and now I can always tell when I'm rotating well through the ball. If my head doesn't back up out of the box, I'm doing better. And then, of course, the other thing, if you watch another one of the videos that I did on my swing, I'm trying to get my face, chin, neck to rotate with my trunk, and that's actually pretty good for me. So if I had a hat on from here, if you watch my eyes, they actually do even up pretty good and then rotate a little better with the shot. So I'd like to have the club, see the club is pointed in between my arms here, and I'm always trying to get it to match up with the left a little bit longer. And then if I can get my belt buckle up to the left point, not quite, see, it just didn't quite thrust with the butt, but I finished it up pretty good here. So if we watch that at regular speed a couple times, it looks pretty powerful. I mean, it's the tempo. I have a fairly quick tempo. It's about 23.7 when you count the frames. So we'll look at it from the back. Let's look at it without the lines. So again, the idea is down and down again. Hit the ground, drive to the left heel, open up, arms trail. There you go. All right, there's my swing. I'm going to be playing down at Isleworth and the pro member at the end of January. So I'll let you know how I do. So again, visit the website. We'll get more of this type of stuff on there and see if we can help you out.